tampon. Anyway, we're live. All three spots now. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Hey, hello, everyone. My name is Nate Savage. My wife and I, Chelsea, run GuitarFam.com, where it is our mission to help you play the music you love with the people you love, and whatever we can do to help you get there, that's what we want to do. We do private lessons, online courses, and just interact with you guys through live streams and community forum and things like that too. Anyway, got my coffee. I'm ready to go here for Live Wednesday. Chelsea and Lillian are out have a play date, so the house is quiet. Perfect time to do this. Cheers with the coffees if you're doing it, or tea or whatever. Let's see. So before we get into this, one thing, a resource that we have for you that's brand new that I want just to make sure to let everybody know about consistently is something called the Strumming Evaluation Quiz. And this has to do with timing. It relates to the topic we're doing today, which is how often do you use a metronome when you're practicing guitar. So the Strumming Evaluation Quiz will help you evaluate whether you're a beginner, like an advanced beginner, intermediate, or an advanced strummer, and it will give you some steps you can take to get to that next level. And timing is included in that as one of the factors in that, one of the big factors in the quiz. So I'd really recommend going and taking it. You'll get the results emailed to you with some recommendations, and then a list of 2 or 3 lessons that you can take action on right away that will help you get your strumming and timing up to a very good level. But the link for that is in the description on YouTube. I'll put it in the link in the description on Facebook and Instagram later. It's just guitarfam.com/strumming quiz. No spaces, no hyphens like that. Just strumming quiz. Anyway, I'll mention that again later. Look at this. Look at this, guys. I had put up a post in the forum, on the Guitar Fam forum, that I was thinking about 2 different guitars on Facebook Marketplace. And this is the one that ended up winning. I got it for a pretty good deal, and I was kind of shocked when I got it because this guitar feels awesome. I was very shocked. It's a Charvel DK24. Because I'm surprised I like it so much because I don't like 24 fret guitars. We'll see if it survives. But it feels really, 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 really nice. Hey, Andy, what's going on? Oh, okay, cool. Andy says he's just off work. So he says the new strumming doctor is awesome. Cool. I may have let the cat out of the bag there. We may or may not have a new version of, not a complete, like 2.0 version of the strumming doctor coming out pretty soon, which is very important for your strumming and timing. And that's kind of what things are relating to today as far as this topic. Oh, here's my cable. This topic of using a metronome or not using a metronome, right? This is the first time I plugged this guitar in, so I don't even know if I like the pickups on it. We'll see. Pickups aren't a big deal. Let's see. There you go. The phase switch is in, or whatever that switch is. I was like, it's a bit thin sounding. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Mix up. Yeah, right away, I think it sounds pretty good. I like it. I'll have to see if the pickups make the cut again, but I'm pretty happy with this again on Facebook Marketplace used because I sold an HX stomp. It's just a shredder, man. It feels really nice without being just over the top, Anyway, that's the new guitar purchase. What I'm pretty happy with. We'll see if it makes the cut. I go through guitars like I go through underwear, man. It's just something that I think is fun, like trying on a new guitar, seeing if I like it, and then seeing if it makes the cut. I got my eyes on a vintage Charvel too, but the guy won't answer my questions on Facebook. So I'm like ready to give him money, but he won't answer me. Anyway, the topic again for today's Wednesday Live, the question from yesterday's Q&A Tuesday was, how often do you use a metronome when you practice guitar? And I'll go through the results here with you real quick on each platform. On YouTube, 10% says every time I practice. Come on, camera. What's going on? There you go. 10% says every time I practice. 60% say occasionally. That's the category that I fall into. And 30% say, what's a metronome? That's on YouTube now. On Facebook, it's really close to the same. So 12% say every time I practice, 87% say occasionally, And only 1% say what's a metronome. And on Instagram, it's a little lopsided there. I don't know what the deal is, but 64% say every time I practice, 27% say occasionally, and only 9% say what's a metronome. So it is kind of a bell curve again. Like all these Q&A things, I'm putting the questions in order. Maybe I should change them up, but it's consistently kind of like a bell curve for the results on this. Anyway, I do fall into the kind of occasionally practice with the metronome. It's when I find that I'm struggling with something that I'm preparing for, like a gig or recording something for my wife for one of her albums or something, or if I just notice I'm really not doing, if things are inconsistent on something. And usually it's after I practice a song and I have the left and right hand fingerings down and all that stuff, and then I can start working on articulations and making it feel good and sound more dynamic. Then I'll bring in a metronome to put the final finishing touches on it to make sure I have control over my metronome. Andy says, I don't use the metronome enough. I need to do better. me and you both. I prefer drum beat. That's fine. A drum beat is the same thing as a metronome for all intents and purposes, Andy. If that's what you use, that's great. And I guess I should have mentioned that like a drum machine or a metronome, either one is good. But the important thing is not shooting for perfect timing, but shooting to get control. I don't know what's up with this camera. It keeps going out of focus. Is to get control of your timing. And that's one thing, like in cycles, I feel my control of my time it gets dull and rusty, and then I pick it back up again. It gets dull and rusty, and I pick it back up again. But like my ability to hear it never leaves because I've done so much work on it. But my ability to actually physically do it does leave. It gets dull and rusty, and I have to pick it back up and start sharpening it up again, right? Especially if I don't work on it for a while. Because like if I don't play with my wife for like, I don't know, like a month or two, like alive or anything, I feel it kind of ebbs and flows and it's not as sharp as it should be. So what happens is when we rehearse for, like, let's say we're rehearsing for a week, we're practicing for a week, like the first 3 times we will not use a metronome just because we're kind of getting our footing back. And then for all the remaining 4 times we have to rehearse, we'll use a metronome, and it'll be not great the first time or two, and then the last 2 times it'll be good. It'll be back to where it was. So with that in mind, if anybody has any questions on how to use a metronome in your daily practice, go ahead and put them in any one of the chats here. And I do have hey Leo, hey, oh man, I'm gonna butcher the screen. Chemical knees, I can't even read that one. Y Panda Y joined. Hey, hello everyone on Instagram. But I do have a question. It was a very good question from the YouTube post, the poll that I put up on YouTube, and I read it. And if anyone has any questions on how to use a metronome for your practice, let me know. I have my computer, my phone, and my tablet there, so I have to use my wife's computer for a metronome. Okay. And this question comes from Aaron on YouTube. And he says, the problem I have is that other than playing scales or single notes, I don't understand how to use it properly. And I will tell you that the first, probably until I got into college. So the first 6, 7 years of my, even longer than that, probably the first 10 years of playing guitar, even longer than that. Yeah, 10 or 15 years of playing guitar. I only use the metronome for the same kind of thing that you're describing here, Aaron. I would, do it for scales and stuff like. And that's good, but it's only one facet of how to use a metronome and how to develop your timing. Things really didn't start picking up. HH, hey Alan, says I use the Tempo app all the time. So do I. That's the one I use, and it's free when when my phone or one of my devices is available. That's what I use, and it's awesome. I love it. Oh, cool. Andy uses Tempo too. I would really like to get a drum one that I like too. Like you said, Andy, that's not quite so boring, but I just haven't. I guess I'm lazy. Where things really start to get interesting and where I really noticed my time changing was when I started to focus on rhythm guitar with this instead of just single notes. I did do the single note stuff too, but where I really noticed it was when I started to do it focusing on just the rhythm, not scales, but just the rhythm, and then rhythm guitar with like chords and stuff. So let's say if I have 70 beats per minute in there, and this is what I would recommend doing. If I have that, I'll turn this down a little bit. Okay. You can start with just single notes, but just do quarter notes. Like I'm not even worried about my left hand doing scales. Right? All my attention is going on to my picking hand. Quarters, then move to eighths. Then go to 8-note triplets. Sixteenths. Back to triplets. Eighths. Quarters. Because when you move through note subdivisions like that, it really forces you to have to internalize the beat. And you probably noticed like it wasn't super smooth on my transitions there. If I did this for another minute, I'd probably be feeling pretty good. It'd probably be pretty sharp. And I have been practicing much of this kind of stuff lately, so if I did it for a week, it'd be really sharp. But that's one way to do it, and I'd really recommend doing it that way. But I'd also really recommend doing it strumming. So instead of just doing single notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then switch to 8 notes, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and then triplets. Sixteenths. Back to triplets. See, Andy. Eighths. Quarters. Okay. So instead of just practicing along to a metronome, like if you're going, 70 beats per minute. And then going, okay, do 75, And, 80. Just climbing up the ladder like that. That's one way to work on your timing. And it's necessary, but really internalizing and being able to shift back and forth between any kind of note value as you it allows you to really focus on your strumming hand and your timing. That way, when you add chords into it, you're not concentrating on your timing so much. You're allowed to kind of look at the whole picture of how your playing feels. But unless you really isolate that and do it at least for a little while, then it becomes tougher to focus on the whole picture of playing and get your feel down really well. Focus on your timing a little bit on its own. It'll do wonders for your playing overall. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is like work up a song, right? Learn. It can be something as simple as like we're working on Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer right now for the collaboration. Right? Get it down, get the strumming pattern down, get the chord changes down, and then let's see. Then if the tempo you're playing it at or the goal tempo is too fast for you, just slow it down. So like let's say I think it's like at 120 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but say it's too fast. Then do the thing where you slow it down. So 90 beats per minute. work on it there until, do your individual chord changing practice and your individual timing, strumming practice, and then bring them together every day. Then put it with the metronome for your final step. And then every day, push it a little bit. The next day, push it to 93, then 95, then 100. And eventually, you'll get to your goal tempo. And that's the way I would use the metronome. Mostly going through the subdivisions at a certain tempo, like 70, 80, 90, and then applying it to a song, whatever song you're doing, Aaron. So that's the way I would do it. And it is a little bit different. I think it's harder than just doing it throughout a scale, which you need to do as well. But that's the type of practice. Like, I think it's just because, I don't know, growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, that's what you saw in guitar instructional videos, was people playing that type of scale, playing to metronomes. And maybe that's just a holdover from that. But if you do it with rhythm guitar and be able to go through the subdivisions and still hold your own triplets, quarters, eighths, what you're doing is you're learning to internalize the beat, and you're training your body to react to the beat. And that's shooting at a target that doesn't move, like a stationary target. When you play with a band, the band is moving, it's ebbing and flowing together. So if you can do it with a stationary target with a metronome, it's going to be to me, it's a little bit harder to do it with the band because you're constantly having to adjust to them and not just something that's steady. So doing it with the metronome is a good first step, and it's a way to get control over your timing. So that when you do play with people, that part of your brain is a little more strong and developed, so you can react faster to playing live. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that topic as far as timing and how to use a metronome in your daily practice. One thing I will say is, and when you're first starting to learn a song, like let's say you want to learn, I don't know, have you ever seen The Rain by CCR or something? Don't start out with the metronome right away. Learn the chords, get the chord transitions down, learn the strumming pattern. Once you have the strumming pattern, do the strumming pattern along to a metronome. And then bring everything together. Without a metronome, and then put everything, like as a crowning achievement, then bring the metronome in, and you'll have enough skills with the left and right hands. You'll have segregated the challenges enough, separated them enough to where you'll have control over them. You'll be able to bring the metronome in, and your brain will go on overload. You'll be able to do it. And then for the final level of polish, put some dynamics in your strumming with it, and that will help you a lot. Hey, Ivan, what's up? Nice to see you, man. Okay, cool. Let's see. I think that's it as far as the topic goes. What have I forgotten? I guess that's it. As far that's the only question, explicit question that was on the YouTube post. At least I think. Let me refresh the page. Yeah, that's it. Cool. But it was a good question because, I for the longest time in my life, because I watched the John Petrucci Rock Discipline video, and that's how I thought a metronome should be used. Right? I thought it was just for scales and lead work and stuff like that, and it's kind of the opposite. Really, what you need to do is develop your internal sense of rhythm with rhythm guitar and what's going on. Let's see. Your internal sense of rhythm. Facebook just dropped me, so post. Oh, here you go. Cool. Anyway, that's it. What else is going on? Oh, we have yesterday was the last day for the collaboration submission. So as soon as I'm done with this, I have a lesson at 11:30, and I'm going to go in there and edit the Guitar Fam Christmas collaboration video, which is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And that's what I'll be doing probably for the rest of the day, because those usually take a little bit longer to do. But tomorrow is our Christmas live stream. So if you haven't scheduled that, and I'll be sending out, I should probably send out an email, and I'll send out an email tomorrow morning about it, reminding everybody and giving them the links. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you there. We'll share the Christmas collaboration video with you. There's still time to get in your, if you want a student video review done, go ahead and send it my way. There's still time to get that in. And grab your hot chocolate or your apple cider or whatever you're going to be drinking and join us tomorrow. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific here on YouTube. And what else do you need to know? I guess that's it. I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys there. Hey, Jim. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream. Have a good day. Bye.